anybody here that doesn't know me? Raise your hand if you don't know me. Okay. Okay, so then that's good. All but 2 people here know me. I'm Wendy Rosenberg. I'm one of the owners of Title Express of South Florida. My office is right here on Sunrise between University and Pine Island. My partner is a real estate attorney, Justin Schmidt. He's been a real estate attorney for about 15 years. And I've been in the title business for 25 years. And I always like to tell people I started when I was 12. You say 25 years, oh my God, it's ancient, right? But not if I started when I was 12, I'm not ancient then. Anyway, so we do a lot of short sales. We work with investors. We're investor friendly. We do refinances, regular closings, commercial transactions. We've been doing short sales for the last 5 years. I have a team of negotiators. They work for the law firm. So all our short sales go through the law firm. We like to say we make short sales easy and safe because the attorney, Justin, who I don't know where he is, but he should be here, he reviews all the short sale paperwork. If the seller has any questions, we get answers from the attorney. It's not answers from the realtor, not answers from the title company. We get answers from the attorney. He reviews all, oh, my phone is ringing, let me see if we can answer. It's not, so I'm going to put it on silent. If your sellers have any questions, we get legal answers for them. He reviews the approval letters. If the lender's not waiving the deficiency, we go back to the lender and want to know why they're not waiving the deficiency, if they will waive it. You know, that's the main objective in doing a short sale, is to get the lender to waive the deficiency. Get the lender to waive the deficiency and try to get the homeowner some relocation money. In the past, we've seen relocation monies up to $45,000. Lately, has anybody seen $45,000? What's the most anybody's seen lately in relocation expenses? 35. How much? So I haven't really seen more than 5,000 within the last year. The majority of it is half a money or cooperative short sale money, which is about $2,500 or $3,000. But that's out there. I mean, I guess the days of the $30,000, $40,000 seller incentive fees are gone. If you've lived in your house for free for the last 5 years, then you utilize that $20,000, $30,000 relocation money. So I guess that was a trade-off. Did you take the money then and run, or did you just live there for the last 5 years for free? So, you know, I guess it was a trade-off. But that's what we do differently. It's not the title company negotiating it. It's not the realtor negotiating it. It's the law firm. And if we have an HOA that we have to deal with, it's attorney. It could be attorney to attorney. You know, our attorney can call their attorney. And sometimes that carries more weight. I'm not saying it always does, but if you say, I'm calling from the law office of Justin Schmidt, and I want to talk about negotiating payoff, it might have a little more weight than saying, I'm calling from XYZ title company, and I want to negotiate the payoff. Who do you think they're going to be more likely to negotiate with? The law firm. So we feel that we have a good track record because we have the law firm behind us for negotiating short sale. And I have a little PowerPoint. Are we ready for that? Yep. Okay, so I'm giving you all the information in my PowerPoint anyway. I have some pretty slides, so I can just run through them really quickly. So they're not long, it's pretty quick because I know you're here to hear the short sale presentation. So I'm not going to take too much of your time. But anyway, what we do when we get a short sale is we'll talk to the seller. Now, and I say we, I can talk to them also, or one of my negotiators that work for the law firm. Talk to your seller, tell them the benefit of a short sale. Sometimes you might have trouble explaining to them why they should have a short sale, or they might want to hear a legal reason why. You know, they're going to go talk to their attorney told them to do a deed in lieu, and what's the benefit, why should they do a short sale. So we can tell them that, you know, we can help you out there. And speak to the seller. We can gather all their documents, upload it in Equator or whatever system it is to get the information to the bank, and negotiate the short sale. So what we do is, I know a lot of people think, oh, do you charge for this? Well, we have 2 programs. One, where we charge your sellers $2.99 up front, because we do lay out the money for the title search and the lien search. And we feel like if your seller has the $2.99, it also makes them committed. You know, they're coming in with the $2.99, and that's a commitment. You know, if it's something for free, people aren't always as committed. But if they pay $2.99, there's a more sense of commitment. And we tell them that you get a limited retainer agreement with the law office of Justin Schmidt, and it's only cost you $2.99, and that's it. Okay, then you might say, my seller doesn't have any money. Okay, if you're going to charge $2.99, my seller's going to go to XYZ title company or XYZ Realtor because they're going to do it for free. If that's the case, we'll waive the $2.99. Title company will lay out the money for the title search and the lien search, and we'll continue negotiating the short sale. The two platforms are, if we get the $2.99 up front, we charge $1,200 at closing, and that goes, we try to charge the lender. And we put it on the HUD as an attorney fee. And we find that about 75 or 80% of the time, lenders will pay an attorney fee. They will not pay a negotiating fee, we know that, but they will pay an attorney fee. If they don't pay an attorney fee, we give you language for the MLS, and we have a contract addendum that says if we can't collect the money from the lender, the buyer will be responsible. And now why should your buyer pay? You say, well, you know, why should my buyer pay? That's the seller's fee. First of all, it's negotiation. If you know that you might have to pay $1,200, $1,500 in closing as a buyer, put your offer in for $1,500 less. You know, factor that in. In the meantime, we also know that buyers are not paying for title insurance. Okay, if you have a $200,000 short sale, title insurance is, what, $1,500? So you're saving that. So it's kind of a wash. If it's a regular deal, the buyer's going to pay title insurance to Dade and Broward County. If it's a short sale, they're not. The lender's paying it on their behalf. So they're getting a property a little bit below market, and they're also not paying title insurance. So I know I kind of jumbled things up a little bit, but if your buyer, we know up front if your seller's not paying anything, it's $1,500 in closing to the lender or the buyer, whoever we can collect it from. So we give you language, as long as you disclose it in the MLS that there could be a fee to the buyer, it's never a problem. The only time it's a problem is if you don't disclose it in the MLS. There's no surprises. We don't like surprises. We think an educated buyer is the best buyer. Last thing you want to do is work on a short sale for, you know, months and months and months, and then at the end, the buyer finds out, well, the lender's not paying the lien search, they're not paying this or that. The buyer says, well, why should I pay it? Because it's a short sale. And we believe in educating the buyer also that there could be expenses the lender's not paying that they might have to pay at closing. And if you, keep going. These are my slides. I know I've already gotten ahead of all this, but you can look at the slides. There's information here on the table as well. Anyway, so that's the way we work our short sale program. And we do one thing about ordering a title search and a lien search. Does everybody in this room do short sales? Does your title company order a title search and lien search up front? Okay, does anybody know that they do or not? Okay, well if you're shaking your head no, then that's not a good thing. Because we order title search and lien search up front because we want to know before we get a short sale approval if there's liens or judgments against the property that need to be cleared. Because if there's liens and judgments and you get a short sale approval letter, it's going to hold up your closing. We've had many times where the seller has an IRS lien on the property, and that takes about 30 to 60 days to clear that, and it's a lot of work, and we do charge extra to clear the IRS tax lien. The IRS tax lien doesn't mean that they get released of the tax. It means the IRS will take the lien off the property and allow the short sale to happen. If you get to a short sale approval and there's an IRS tax lien on the property, you could be waiting another 30, 60, 90 days till that lien gets cleared. So we like to know up front if there's any liens or judgments that we can be working on. When we get the short sale approval letter, we're good to go. You have some information here about our short sale program, and that's what we're here to talk about today. Not only though do we do short sales, we do regular deals. We love regular deals even more than we love short sales. So if you have any regular deals and you need a good title company, think about me, Title Express. You all have my information, and if you need it, let me know, and I'll be sure to give it to you. My name and email are on the flyer, and most of you came here because you got an email from me. So you should have my contact information. If not, I'll be happy to give you a card. We are investor friendly. We work with a lot of investors. We can do double closings, simultaneous closings. We can help you with transactional funding. If you don't know what that is, we'll be happy to talk about that maybe afterwards. Whatever you need. We do refinances. Justin is an attorney and he specializes in commercial contracts and leasing. So if you need a good commercial attorney, he's there as well. So we like to say we're a full service attorney-owned title company. We do have bilingual staff. So we do closings in Spanish. Our short sale negotiators speak Spanish. We're here to help you. Does anybody have any questions?
Foreclosure defense attorney. He's right on time. I know you might have thought this was a comedy show, but it actually is a luxury short sale presentation. Before I jump into the nitty-gritty of how we can work together and make some money as investor-friendly realtors, understanding that what I'm trying to do is buy more than one property. This is why there's a room full of you, and this is why Wendy's brought me here, so I can speak to you about making money as not only realtors, but the future of what I think every realtor should be thinking about is becoming an investor. Because I have a real estate investment club. It's a new revolutionary real estate investment club. It's a profit sharing club. But what it's designed to do is it's designed to have you get paid a third way. So there's 3 ways to get paid as a realtor. If everything works out and you do simultaneous closing with her, that's A to B, B to C. You're going to have a chance to be the listing agent on the property. We're going to show you a couple ways that we know of that you can go out there and uncover millions of dollars worth of real estate. And by doing that, as the listing agent, you already have an in-place buyer so you can negotiate deals. I'm going to explain that to you in a minute, but what I am going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is going to show you the realist classics. So we're going to get right into educational information. I have Julia Kochko right here. She is my personal realtor, so she'll be working with me with all of this as the buyer's agent. I have a team of buyer's agents, so she's my personal one. You'll always be liaisoning and talking with her because you'll be the listing agent for the seller. And then the second way to get paid is I want to keep you on the deal because I'm an investor, and what we're doing is we're buying and selling. Isn't that what makes sales volume? Isn't that what makes more money, more commissions? So what the double commission is with my listing team, I'm going to pay another 1. So we try and get 6% loans in the front end, 3 and 3, and in the back end, I'm going to put you with my agents. I'm going to pay another 1% and 3% to what he brings the buyer. So I'm going to explain to you the whole system on how we can do multiple deals and what my teachers have been doing and what students have been doing around the country. All I'm doing right now is nothing new. I'm just duplicating what most large real estate investor teachers are doing. Like, this is why I have a real estate investor class, a real estate investor group. And then what my goal is to pay you out as investors on deals that you're not the agents on. If that makes any sense. So that way we can grow together. So as I make money, you make money, and we grow. So I love short sales. I started doing short sales back in 2001. Here's seminars that I went to. If you go online, you'll be able to see, if you ever wanted to become an investor, you'll be able to learn from my teacher. My teacher is Jeff Caller. And I was going to show you online, Jeff Caller has many real estate agents that have been through Miami that have made a lot of money learning how to be short sale investors. Out of maybe 200,000 or 300,000 students, he had Donald Trump up at one time, and I was on stage a couple times with Donald Trump as the #1 student for doing short sales. So when you look up what we're doing and how I'm doing it, it's nothing new. Jeff Cal's been teaching short sales for 17 years. I'm just one of the top students. All I'm doing is copying what my successful teacher has done, and I'm just building my own local group here in the South Florida area. Does this make any sense? So if you were to look me up, you could look up Jeff Cowler, and Jeff Cowler has videos where he has many people that have been and have worked with him. So, like I said, my system, instead of working on deals that are $200,000 and down, is our goal is to work on deals $1 million and above. Does this make sense? Because the commission on $1 million and above will be hit. So what we want to do is, we have a video, and we can send you an email of the video if it doesn't work, where she goes through it and she shows the realist classic. But we want you to learn how to uncover hundreds of millions of dollars of distressed properties. That's what our agenda is here today. And if you're a broker, is there any brokers in here, by chance? Okay. Brokers. Imagine having all your agents listing and selling tens to hundreds of millions of dollars in luxury short sales in the next few years. Now, one of my partners has worked with Kai's Realty. I've just separated, and he runs almost all of the Kai's Realty town that 5 years, Rob style. They have closed 64 million. They did 32 million in double transactions. They closed 64 million. So as agents, you can see that there's money possibly to be made. How to navigate the 30 to 120-day resale restrictions, and how to legally comply with the property while keeping the deal alive and saving that 3% commission. Has anyone had a deal that was a short sale that died? Ever? Anyone? Can I sincerely see if I'm the only one that struggled? Okay, double commission as a listing agent. So when you are the listing agent for them, and then when you become my agent and you help me list it and resell it, because the goal is never for me to hold on to the property. By the way, who is my team? This is Miguel. Miguel is, how old are you, Miguel?
25.
How long have you been with me? 6 years. So I met her at 19. How did I meet you?
At one of his properties.
At one of my properties. What were you doing?
Hanging out.
Come on. What were you doing?
It was a party.
How many people were at the party?
200 people.
How many?
200 people at the party.
200 people at my rental. Okay. And what time is it?
2 in the morning.
2 in the morning. I'm a very active landlord. So it's 2 in the morning. I got my neighbors calling me. Hey, did you know that there's a party at your house? How come you didn't invite me? How come I didn't invite you? Who didn't invite me? So I strolled to the party. 19 to 21-year-olds drinking. Okay, so it could have been a big scene. So I walk up, and he's 19. He's one of the guys there. So what I say to you?
What's up? He asked me how old I was and what I did, what I wanted to do in life. And that's where I said, I'm telling him that my passion in life is actually development.
At 19, how is it development? This guy's drinking a beer at 19 in one of my rental properties with 199 other kids, and I'm wondering how I'm going to get them all out of here without the cops. Okay, go ahead. Development?
Yeah, development.
Still quite related.
The reason why, because my family, outside of my family, they're the Miltons, and the development. They develop properties in Sunny Isles, and they're worth about $3.5 billion.
So his other families develop like maybe 100 properties. They have a lot of rental properties. So he said to me, he's on the other side, but he's on the construction side. But he's always dreamed of building big buildings. One of the goals of our real estate investment club at the end is hopefully we all get to be part of building some of these big buildings. Because Miami is just a new city. This South Florida is a new city. So I meet him, and then what I tell you? Really quick, let's go. Thanks,
Pretty much we exchanged numbers and we linked up and told me about the brick club.
So at 19, I talk to anyone and everyone about the success of becoming a real estate investor and what it can do for you. So he's been with me 6 years. She's the oldest member of the club. Julia right here is, I met her at a real estate investor event. So I normally go to these fortune builders or this event or that event. Come on up, my friend. Huh? Come on up, my friend. And I normally go to these events, and what I do at these events is I look for people who just learned and paid for how to become a real estate investor, so I don't have to train them from scratch, and then I can talk to you about being successful. So Julia then has gone on to me with maybe 5 or 10 different seminars. I've taken her around the country, and we've met with some of the top minds in investing, and then she's come back, and now she runs the real estate agency that she's going to be liaison because she understands investors and how we take in what we're doing. And what her goal is to do is to serve you in any way and capacity to help you understand what we do, how we do it, and how we can profit together. Rick back here. Rick, talk to me.
What's up, guys? What's up? I've been working with Romeo for about a year. I linked up to him. Yeah, hold on. Let me put it wide. Sure.
I think it's the team. If I don't at least say thank you to the team, then you wouldn't understand how I made it, because I would be here all day today.
Yeah, so met Romeo at a real estate event like this. It was up at a Kai's Realty. I was doing a similar thing, and then it was my dream.
How many realtors were there at Kai's Realty?
It was like 20, 25 realtors.
And what were they doing?
They're learning how to do make 80 to 150,000 on luxury short sales.
So all I'm doing is the same thing on inside where Kai's has their Kai's only program. So, and I was working with an investor, he only works with Kai's. So what I'm trying to do is now I'm bringing it outside of Kai's because he works with that whole agency. Now I want to see if I can get my own 2,000 agents to understand and work with me to do the same thing. So Rick is an intern of mine. Rick, where did you go to school?
University of Miami.
How much are you in debt?
Like 25,000.
Rick's, how old are you?
23.
23. He's 20,000, 30,000 in debt. I opened up a nonprofit, and Rick is one of my interns, and he's on this almost 365-day of showing up every day, working in the real estate investment firm and the market company, helping us out. So at the end of this 1 year, he didn't have to pay me for any courses, and I've had students who pay me up to $100,000 in coaching. And in change, I showed him how to get involved in the business. I trained him, I coached him, we have a company together. And then now, Rick is one of the young successful people today that are out there looking to build a business with you guys, because what we do is video. So let's just say if we get a luxury short sale, who's here seen $1 million listing? Anyone? Have you seen the $1 million listing in New York where they're doing those $30,000, $50,000 videos that are so exciting? Where do they put those videos? They don't put them on NBC or ABC or CBS. They put them online. So Rick, what did you graduate with?
With motion picture production.
Graduate?
I have a few credits left, but in motion picture production, I went 4 years there studying.
So he spent $200,000 in motion picture production. So between aerial photography and doing the videos, which will help sell our properties faster, because video is the new wave, you won't have to put out $30,000 to $50,000 every time we need to do a commercial video for the property we're going to sell. Doesn't that sound pretty exciting? Because I already have that handled, and what we can do is the money that we are going to charge out of proposal for, it's going to go to the nonprofit so we can help students graduate with no debt, so they can get out of trouble, so we can help the future whatever. And the last one, this is my foreclosure defense attorney. Okay, so if we have a deal, we need to stop a deal, if something needs to go through, I've been with OB. Now, you may look online and you may see people that have perfect ratings. Well, OB doesn't have a perfect rating. You know why? Because he cares. It's going to be the plaintiff, it's going to be the defendant, and it's going to be 3 lawyers. The judge is a lawyer, he's a lawyer, and the other guy's a lawyer. We're the guys that just run in and out, but they're the friends. So when you have someone that's not beholden to the court, he's actually here to help the people, to help people who've been in trouble, who are losing their homes, who've really been in the trenches, this is this guy. So I give him a 5-star, and I've been investing for so long. If you ever need help, whether it's a friend or a family member, if it's something really personal, this guy has been there for me so many times, and he's helped so many people. But I want to introduce you to a quality foreclosure defense contact that will be able to help you stop any and all of your deals.
Good morning, everybody. Obi Brown. I've been an attorney for about 15 years, and what I do is foreclosure office. I'm not exactly sure everything that goes into it. I know he's a fantastic speaker, but what you want to do when you're a real estate professional is you want to have a good team. Sometimes when you see a listing and you see that some people get only a year or some people get 3 years to sell a property, you want somebody that's going to be able to actually have control over the process. And you have better control over the process when you're actually attacking the banks, when you're actually being the aggressor, instead of coming in with defenses or affirmative defenses, when you actually have a lawsuit against the bank, and when you're going after them.
Let me tell you how this helps. This helps us because these properties that are vacant, that they've already left, these investments that they've walked away from, and why should these deals just go to the sidelines? We're not talking about someone, oh, they lived in that house and this is my home and I need to keep it. We're not talking about those people. He has a service for them if they want to keep it their home and they can stay, and maybe you can get a referral fee. But for the people that are dead set on getting these properties sold, if we need to stop the foreclosure to save your commission, to make sure that we profit when we get to the end, this is what we're going to do. And this is the guy they're going to bring on, just so you know what can go down. Now, V, tell me about that $1.2 million deal you did real quick.
Oh, well, yeah, that was one of the deals was a deal by La Course Golf Club. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the Miami Beach area, where Chase Bank was doing a foreclosure, and the person hired me right before his house was being sold, and actually the sale was set. And we were able to, one, reverse the sale. And we did it in a manner where we put the bank in a position where they were about to lose their entire mortgage. So when the bank is in that position, they get very flexible and it's easy to negotiate. They went and they appraised the property. The property was appraised at 1.2, and they knew we had a buyer at the appraised price, yet they were forced to sell it to us at half the price.
How much?
Half the price, $600,000.
So it's different when you have like attorneys in there, and there's different things that we can do. Securitization audits. So if you were to look at me up blind, foreclosure offense lawyer, you'll see it. I am not just a regular real estate investor. I delve deep into it. I want to know what they did, how they did it, if there's something illegal. And the reason why is because I want to come as a complete partner to you so you understand if we're going to work together, let's not waste a moment of my time and your time because it's so valuable and precious than tire kicking and wondering how we're going to do the deal. I know how to do the deals from A to Z. It's just like a recipe. And if we follow the recipe, then I'm going to do exactly what my other teachers are doing while they're closing hundreds of short sale deals, and so can we. Obi, you have anything else to say? And I'll have you around for questions at the end.
Yeah, the only thing I have to add is a lot of attorneys say they could do a lot of things, but really you want proof. And the proof is in just the docket. Just say, okay, show me what you've done. And you can see in the docket when the property was sold, how many houses or sales they've been able to reverse, the prices they sold it for, and everything else you could just follow. It's a paper trail. What it was worth, the appraisal, how much it sold for, what it sold for later. Don't believe what people tell you. Look at the actual facts, the paper trail. And that's when you know when you have somebody that's producing or somebody that's just talking and just trying to get clients. That's the difference.
Thanks, Obi. I appreciate your time coming here. He had court today, but he moved it. She has a question?
How do you spell your last name?
Val, VAL.
Just B-A-L. Thank you.
We actually have a phone number for OV too. The marketing company put a phone number up for you. We'll have it in the back, and then if you have questions, you'll be able to call OV.
Yes.
You have cards?
Yes, I have cards.
Okay.
Okay, not a problem.
We'll make sure you pass them out. And then he's going to be around for any of your questions, but I want to get into it so you guys are not wasting more time. Okay? Yeah, you got it. Thank you. Appreciate it. And the third way is to profit with me. To join me in my new little real estate investment club, and then as an investor partner in the deals you're not the agent on. Do you know another broker? Have you been in the business long enough? Have people done deals with you before? If you bring them into my program and we wind up doing a real estate deal with them, then you can get paid out of my investor cut. Because if you're not the realtor on it, but you still did it, why not get paid? And you're going to know that you're going to get paid every single time. Because it's not going to change. So that's going to be 10% of my net profit. If I make a $500,000 spread, then you're going to make 10%. If I make 200, you'll make 20,000. But if you referred 100 agents to me, you just made you just made $2 million. If you refer 10 agents that did a deal, you just made $200,000. And this is in money that I'm going to go talk to as many real estate agencies. You're going to see me almost everywhere. I mean, you see me around. Jose, come here for a second. How do I know you, Jose?
Hello.
Really quick, Jose. Just say hi to your group of people.
Hello, group.
Tell them about yourself.
I'm a realtor. I just started this year. Romeo found me one outside of the Fortune Builders.
What's Fortune Builders?
It's I guess a group that tries to teach and show people how to live and wholesale and obtain.
How many people are there?
200 people.
So they teach 200-300 investors. I just stand outside the door after they train them, and I say, hey, listen, now that they trained you, let me help you because I'm local. If you're looking for the cash buyer, I'm the cash buyer. Now I have bird dogs that are out there looking for properties for me, except he happens to be a realtor. So explain to me a little bit more.
After that, I attended one of the events that you had at this property.
I have one of these properties that I hold as a marketing and advertising studio that I bring people there to, and then I show them that I do deals. Instead of just having a meeting here at Total Wine, the next step is if you want to see it, if you want to become an investor, if you want to become an investor, here's your investment property.
So I went and showed me about the club and how to get involved with it, so to speak. And I just wanted to start putting a team together to do exactly that.
Next goal is to go to his office and speak with his broker and see if I can do a meeting inside the office so everybody can be educated. So I have another guy that's supposed to come from Angle Bulgars. They have 300 people in their office. Jaffe, they have 420 in their office. So this is what I'm doing. You're going to see me in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Hopefully you're going to be with me. Otherwise, I want to make sure that I'm doing the business legitimately. I want to do it over and over and over again. My mother was a realtor for 30 years. She passed away. So when I was a kid, and she passed away from cancer, I was at open houses, you name it, I did it. And she went and she loved real estate. She tried to pass her brokerage test 5 times and she failed it because of the math. She passed away 3 years ago, so why I am the business development manager and why I'm adamant about working with realtors is because I love you guys and I understand exactly what you go through, how many times you have to show the house, how many things you have to do, all the nuances of what it means to possibly get paid and then not get paid for doing all that work. That's impossible. What if there is a way that we can cut all that out by working with an investor buyer, me? By doing things and then understanding it from the different sides. So if I peel it back and I show you what it's like to be an investor and be paid as an investor, maybe you'll have more incentive to work with me because there's more ways to get paid. And of course at the closing. So I want to be your secret weapon for being a volume listing agent, luxury short sales. Thank you, Jose. I appreciate it. We do everything for you behind the scenes to help your business real estate. And you know, with the Title Express, they look through everything, and what they've done is they've approved the contracts of what I want to do, because it's going to be a double closing. So we need to understand someone who's investor friendly. So they are geared and ready to go. You don't have to do any of the work. So from negotiating the HUD-1 preparations to doing the short sales, our team, Wendy, she makes everything easy. You'll have a higher chance of closing the listing armed with the powerful information we share. What am I talking about? Now, let's just say if you looked at the Realist Classic, all it's showing you is the list pendences. Besides that, if you found another source of, and what you can do is you'll be able to go to the homeowner with 3 things. And this is what other agents, maybe someone's in trouble and they want to know, how can you really help me? Well, the 3 things you're going to be able to go with is your listing agreement. Well, before you say that, you can say, hey, I have a cash buyer that's interested in buying your home. Right here's the contract. Right here's the proof of funds. And by the way, just to make sure that everything is legal, here's my listing agreement for 6%. So we can make it happen. Now when someone's interested in doing something, you've come with a package that no one else has. There's someone saying, here's what I've done, here's how I've done it. And what we're trying to do is, and someone's going to say, well, that's fine and dandy, but why would I choose you? Why would you want to work with me? Because if you've ever seen anyone in pre-foreclosure, they are in pain. It hurts. And if you've never been in pre-foreclosure, my goodness, just go to a hospital and see someone who's just, about to have surgery or in pain. It's the same thing emotionally as it is physically, if that makes any sense. So what they're looking to do is they're looking to get rid of the pain, and you can solve the problem. How would it solve the problem? Now, did you know how many times people will just want to just go look at a house? So now you have it for a listing, and people start showing up, and they start running through these lives. These people, sometimes they didn't want to sell the house, or they're going through emotional problems. Now they have 40, 50 people tire kicking and going through the property, and it really pains them. And what if the short sale process takes 3, 6, 9, 12 months because of the bank, because of the issues, because of the problems? We know that there are deals that happen like that, right? How many people are going to keep running through their lives, and it hurts them to see that and feel that, and especially if they have kids. So what you, as the agent, has is a fiduciary responsibility to protect them. And it's not to the bank, and that's a lot of people don't understand. I got to take all these offers to the bank. It's not to the bank because you signed up with the owner of the property, and you're supposed to protect them. And the bank is the person that is attacking them, trying to take their home. So how, in your fiduciary responsibility, is your allegiance to the bank when it's supposed to be the person that you physically know? There's a difference between an REO and a short sale. An REO, of course, the bank owns the property. Then you have to do what the bank says and bring all the offers in, and that's what is the legality. But with the short sale, there is ways that, as the owner of interest and equitable interest, and I'm going to explain that to you, how we can legally help them and move faster, where now you have the 3 things to talk to them about. Then the next thing you have is the ability to put it on the listing and pend it while we do the short sale until we get the verbal approval. And we know what's going on and how it's going on. So by the time we put it up there, and we're going to sell it at the 30-day quick sale price. I'm wholesaling. I'm flipping. I'm looking for someone that's going to come in and understand. And at that level, usually these people can pay cash. And because they're paying cash, if we give them 10, 50, whatever the 30-day quick sale price is, that was going to get 3, 5, 10 offers in on that property, That's what we want to do, and that's what I'm passionate about, and having you understand is my side of it as the investor and how we can do the transactions and the deals. And once we do this, we'll be so successful as a group. So, you'll have a higher chance of closing, wouldn't you, if you brought 3 things? Your contract, a proof of funds, and a listing agreement? Next slide. And we're not in the business of buying and holding properties. Our business is in volume. Why work 40 hours when you can get the same 300,000? And listen, if you're making 300,000, 6%, 18,000, you're going to make 2 realtors. You're 8. I'm not sure, but it's like an 80-20 split here. I hear a lot, so I'm just trying to. So the agent receives 7,200. The broker receives. Next slide. On a $3 million property, it would be 72,000. The broker's receiving 18,000. So if you're a broker, doesn't it make sense? I'm not sure if you have 100 agents, but some do, some don't. If you ever wanted to go big, there's a lot of virtual agencies out there that don't have anyone coming into the office. An extra, now if we did it the other way, that'd be 180,000 a year on $300,000 properties, and it's 1.8 million a year as opposed to 180,000. This changes your brokerage. This changes your financial picture by uncovering deals that you never would have had and teaching your agents how to go out there and find these properties. Next slide. So the educated realtor could bring in close millions of dollars in the next few years. And listen, I was working until like late at night in the morning, my whole crew, just to make this happen, just to get here. We knew about this in time, but I wanted to put it together so concise that there might be a typo or two. So in addition to the short sales created by lending sources, new short sales opportunities arise from hardships. So there'll always be death, there'll always be divorce, there'll always be bankruptcy, there'll always be a problem that will happen. And if you're educated on it, and you'll see things that other people don't see. So most agents still running the other way. Who here loves doing short sales by themselves and what they're doing? Can I see a list of hands? Who here loves it? You love it? Who else loves it? Because Wendy, I know you love it. Come on, and you didn't raise your hand. So we have 2 people out of the room of what, 40 or 50 of us that love it? So what don't you love about it? And if you don't love it, and you don't want to know one thing, if I make fun of you, if someone calls you a name, if you burn your finger on something, if you don't like it, if you just don't feel good about it, you're just not going to do it. And by not doing it, you're going to miss out on opportunities. And this is how most agents feel. Come on, 40 of you or 50 of you, 49 say no and 1 says yes. That means that 1 agent would run out there with a smile on her face while you guys are like, forget that. We want you to become today's short sale agent because most people are saying, hey, it's hard to find a buyer. It takes too long. By the time they get approval, the buyer walks. The bank wants too much money. I don't have time to become the negotiator, blah, blah, blah. And they cut my commission. This is why we always want double agents on it. This is why we want attorneys on it. This is why we want professionals on it so you don't have to worry about that. So you can do what you were supposed to do. You're supposed to list and sell. Buy and sell with me. Does that make sense? Not with all the new rules that came on. Negotiate. Do a job that you weren't supposed to do. Spend more hours on it. Negotiating, there's always issues and problems with the negotiation, but one of the most critical things is understanding where the deal is made, and that's the BPO. Is there any BPO agents in here? By chance, anyone do any BPOs? No one? No one? Okay, so the BPO is where it's all at as an investor. It's a broker's price opinion, and because the bank is too cheap after making all those billions of dollars to pay for an appraisal, what they're going to do is they're going to load a broker with like 10 of these to run around. They're going to pay him $7,225, and he's going to do a drive-by. What we need is an interior, exterior BPO, and you need to be able to talk to that BPO agent and hand him our package, show him everything that's going on, the financials, what, this, that, and our biggest goal is to be able to, because just like an appraisal, it's a price opinion. And if we can influence the price opinion, now who uses the RPR? Okay, everybody knows what the RPR is? Okay, that new tool, and I just came back from a class. Where were you saying class? Yeah. Where were we on Friday? I'm all around.
We went from the CIPS, the Certified International
Yes, so I went there to the Miami real estate class. I signed up as a non-member. I learn all the time. I educate myself so I can be in a class with maybe 40, 50 realtors, and I'm passing out cards. I'm going to do every single thing I can so you see me over and over and over again. So the next time you have a short sale, you think of one guy, me. All the time, every time. Now, they handle that. They handle all these problems with the lawyer. We can handle all the issues multi-million dollar properties, let me tell you the truth. You can't give anyone any money out of the closing because it's from the short sale, of course. But what you can legally do, what they have done, is you can buy some furniture. I mean, if there's enough of the spread, and like they're not making any money, there's no 20, 30, 40, 50, everything is on the HUD. There's no secret money. Every time you get paid, it'll be on the HUD. Everything I do is transparent, it's on the HUD. If we talk about money, I want you to know one thing, it'll always be on the HUD. Okay? So I want to make sure, but that way you can buy 30, 50, 100, I mean, these are multi-million dollar properties. And by you looking at it and you not being afraid, you might be able to list 5, 10, 20 million dollar property that's somewhere, somehow, because you are now aware of it. So they want to sell or sign a promissory note. They will give you a full satisfaction and release the lien. This is what we ask for in the contracts and our addendums. How do I handle the tax ramifications? Usually if someone has a really big house and they've taken all the money out of it, they've done things with it, like bought boats and cars and things that are really fun, they're insolvent. And if they're insolvent, if they can prove their insolvency, that's one of the ways. And I'm not a lawyer, of course, and I'm not going to pretend to be a lawyer, so grain of salt. But there's ways that they can talk to their tax person and they can find out. And the Debt Forgiveness Act, up to $1 million or $2 million, it may still go through. I'm not sure, but like I said, if they have no money and they're really doing the short sale and there's a problem, then the tax ramifications may be less for them once they find out from a professional. But now you know that, and you can tell them that. That's much more than another realtor can tell them.
No, Mayor, I wanted to say one thing also. As far as the tax ramifications, people don't realize, if their property gets foreclosed, they're still going to have tax ramifications. So it's better to do the short sale because you're not worried about the taxes and the foreclosure on your record. A lot of people think I'm just going to let it get foreclosed and I'm not going to have any tax ramifications. That's not true. You still have the same tax ramifications if the property is foreclosed.
And I'm going to get through and then I'm actually going to get to the nitty-gritty where the money is in a second, how we help each other. It's time-consuming to do that. May not close, might close, and I don't like them. The guys that I'm following, and I'm using national paperwork, and I'm using the right people on my team, they have like a 90 to 95% closing ratio because what they're doing is if you price the house right, it'll sell, right? If we price the house right, it'll sell. If it's in a nice area, if it's location, and we price the house right, tell me it won't sell. And we're just negotiating with the bank. It's never me. So the best thing about me, you'll never say, oh my God, this house, I don't know, I can't accept that kind of offer. Guys, I'm just trying to do a deal. I'm trying to buy and I'm trying to sell, and I'm not emotionally involved. The only emotion I have is to make sure we get to that closing table, you get your check, and so do I. Because as the investor, I have to pay the attorneys, the realtors, mortgage brokers, I have to pay the insurances, that everything comes out of the end result of what I pay. And I want to make sure everybody gets paid before I get mine. And that's why it's so important for me to get us there every single time. The good news is you never have to deal with that. You don't have to learn every possible thing. Your new investor short sale team will take care of this for you. We put in cash offers as soon as you get the listing, so the negotiations can begin immediately. So you've got the listing, you're looking for somebody, it takes a little while. We can't make a short sale happen with the bank if we do not have a contract. And a lot of times, a lot of people don't understand, it's not just an offer, it's a contract. We have a contract, and this is what we're doing. And for me, this is how you have to understand it. It's a contractual relationship I have with the seller to be able to buy and resell, because I get equitable interest in the property from what I create. Now, that sounds a little bit wordy, but what that just means is legally, the attorneys that I work with have been on Capitol Hill, as part of the DPC. My attorney's name is Jeff Watson. He's part of the Distressed Property Coalition, and they made the laws for short sale investors like myself. The laws mostly apply to GSE loans, which are government-sponsored entities or enterprises, which are Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Though I do not deal with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac because these are portfolio loans, usually above that 412 to whatever the average limit is, 617,000. If we're dealing with $1 million and above, it's usually portfolios where the investors are making the decisions and they've been in there and they want to get out. So you'll have a 37% of all estate agents on there. Let's get this. So the property is only actively marketed after the bank counters the offer. What does that mean? So a lot of guys don't understand how to do the business. What we're doing is you're putting price on pending, and it would be the 3 lowest comps of the RPR. You average that out, and that's what our pending price is. So now, when the BPO agent looks at it, okay, he sees the pending price. When the bank looks at it, they see the pending price. And then, when we do the negotiations, everything is in a line. Once I know what the bank will give me the property at, there's 2 things that happen. And remember, there are resale restrictions, because this is what has killed most investors out there, and they don't educate themselves to go further. Then the deal is dead, and you don't even make any money. But when negotiated properly, especially with having the 2 sets of agents, your listing agents and your buyer's agents, then it makes it easy for us to get the 6% and then not to cut your commission in the back. So there's the homeowner, there's the investor buyer, which is me, and then there's the party that's C. So that's where the A to B, B to C goes in doing double closings. So the initial contract is A to B from the homeowner to me, and the homeowner grants the investor an equitable interest. Now, when we say equitable interest, these properties are over leveraged. There's no money in them. These are the properties that I'm talking about. And when we say equitable interest, that means that once I do a short sale, there's no way that I'm going to get cut out of doing the short sale. We're going to get paid our fee. Because remember, on the flip side, I'm going to show you how to become an investor and get paid each time. And once you understand both sides of it, you'll know what I mean. And once you understand both sides of it, you'll know what I mean. So in addition, I'm granted the right to list, market for sale, and sell the property while negotiating prior to purchasing from the owner of record. So what does that mean? That means that this is how we can do hundreds of deals. Hundreds of deals. Because we have the right to remarket the property, and then, once again, we price it at the right price, and we're pricing it at the 30-day quick sale price. We want 3 to 5 offers on that property, like the minute we put it back on the market. And what are we putting it on the market at? That number. Pending price is the RPR, and the RPR, we have 2 different ranges, right? So when we negotiate with the bank, I'm going to give them the low comps of the RPR. When we're selling it, we want to know what the market value is in the 30-day quick sale price. So now someone comes in, and there's going to be equity left for the next person, the investor, or homeowner, that wants to keep the property. So if you have 2 properties right next to each other, one's $3 million, and the same one by the same builder or something similar is $2.5 million, which one would you buy? Why? And that's what I'm selling you at, because I just want to get it sold. It's not for me to hold on to it, it's my dream. No, it's to see how many of these deals that we can do, duplicate the engine that everyone else is doing except in luxury real estate. And when I say luxury real estate, maybe $1 million and above would be great, but we'll still do $500,000 and above. Anything less than that, there's not that much money being made in it. And I'm not saying there's not that much, but there's just more in the high end. So you can do 1 high end deal instead of doing 10 low end deals. The entire process is possible. It's fully disclosed to writing all parties, including defense. The most important part is having the listing agents understand what I'm doing. Because you'll say, oh, that offer's too low, or no way, or the bank's not paying it, or this is not going to happen. And it's based on your experience of trying to get the best and highest offer. That's not what you're doing now in this investor relationship. We're trying to get it, buy it as low as we possibly can and put it back on the market at a 30-day quick sale price. They don't get money normally anyway. It's the bank we are negotiating with. You have to think about the numbers in 2 ways. Do I try and sell this deal at retail value and never get it closed? Or do we close 10 of these? And I make commissions that are going to be profitable for me and my family. So once the approval, now any offers that come in are presented to the investor buyers are now the ones legally selling the property from B to C via the equitable interest that are granted by the owner. Once the approval letter is in hand, the decision is made whether to purchase it A to B or resell it B to C to use one of the following exit strategies. A to B, B to C, immediately buy and resell it. You guys are getting paid on both sides. The buying and selling associated commissions are 6% on the front end, and I'm going to try, depending on the profit, it's going to be 1 to 3% on the back end for my listing agents to resell it. So 1 would be my agents, and then you're going to get half and half. But what I'd like to do, if there's enough profit on it, I'd like to pay 3 and 3. Because if there's enough money in it and the money I created at the short sale anyway, I don't need the money to go in my pocket. I think we would do better if it went into your pocket, don't you? Don't you think you'd probably bring more deals to me if you can get paid on both ends? Now you're really working with somebody that cares about what? Your interest in mine. Because I already have my realtors, we could just put it up there and it'll be a quick sale. But look how many there are. Do you think my personal realtor can go to 50 properties and show all 50 properties, run 50 open houses, do 50 different things? No. So that's why on the back end, like I said, best case scenario is full commission again. If we have to cut commissions because I'm making less money, would that be okay? Yes, no? No? If you're with me in the back too, no? Are you with me? She's like, no, don't cut my commission. All right, no problem. I see how it is with you. Make sure you're making a big deal. All right? No commission cutting. Guys, so, but honestly, is that okay if we have to go lower? Because you know, if someone else brings the new buyer. Go to the next slide. But here's what it is. It's 1% to the seller's agent, 3% to the buyer's agent. This is the minimum that I'm going to guarantee. So you're going to be on the front and the back. That's the minimum I'm going to guarantee, okay? What I'd like to do is the perfect scenario where it's 3% on both sides. So on your brokerage, on A to B, if you're the listing agent and you're in the back with me, from B to C, the minimum that you get is half of the one, and the maximum that you get, I'm sorry, 6%. So it's actually 3 more points to this. So it would be 3.5 to 6% total. But that's the minimum that I'm guaranteeing. Are we following the minimum and the maximum? I just want to put the minimum, and I wanted to talk about the maximum. Next slide. Well, what about a deed restriction? What if the bank doesn't let you do it? Now, you think, and guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm 43. I went to high school and I quit my senior year because I read the library. I didn't go to college. What I wound up doing was I started a construction company at 20, and I worked 17 hours a day, 7 days a week for about 10 years. I made a bunch of money. I took that money and I went to real estate investment courses. And I learned from guys that were making millions. That's what I like to do. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see theory. I want to spend 50 to 60 hours with you for 3 to 5 days, and I want to see what you're doing, how you're doing it, and if it's all legal, I want to see how I can implement it. And this is the education, the power that I bring to this, because everything I'm doing, and I've been doing short sales since 2001. When I walked into real estate offices with agents, and they threw me out of the office because they told me what I was doing was illegal. I was making checks, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in New Jersey because the price is going up and I'm short selling down. The only way to do that in this market right now is to do luxury short sales. So, how would you like to learn that if they said no to the investor, you can still get paid? How we can still make this happen? How we can still close a deal? We can still make things happen. Wait, hold on. Can I see who wants to do it? Can I see who wants to see this? Unless nobody knows, unless everybody else knows. You don't want to see? I'm just checking. So release and termination. I'm just having fun here. But listen, guys, if we're not having, if you don't have any fun with me ever, because if we close, I'm taking you somewhere. I'm going to give you a nice trip. I'm going to buy you shoes. I might buy you a car. I might help you buy. I swear, I might get you a house. You understand? I'm the kind of guy that you want to have fun with. I'm not uptight, and that's not me. What I want to do is I want to make sure that we make money, we have fun together, and we build a long-lasting relationship. So it's the release and termination of contract. We follow, we comply. What this means is it's performing on the contract. We have different ways to perform on the contract, and one of the ways is to release our contract. We still negotiate it, we still put and before the approval comes in place, I can step out or we can put in a higher subsequent offer. Based on what they say, and is $1 more higher than my offer? No, we don't do $1 more, it's $500 to $1,000 more. But we use everything legally by the law to make sure we comply with what they're saying. And then the contract has equitable interest. Now the contracts come to me, for me to see. And then we approve them, and then we go do the best, highest contract, so your commission is highest at the end, and we try and get it sold. Hopefully there's a bidding war. Does this make sense? And if you're talking to someone that is emotionally connected, you may never get things done because they never really want to sell the property. But with me, I want to see how we can get the property sold as quickly as possible, all the time, if that makes any sense to you guys. So, release and termination of contract. More and more banks have a short sale rule that prohibits you from reselling it for up to 120 days. There's already a C buyer lined up. It would normally go to make more sense for the investor to release their interest in the consequent contract with the owner of record so that the C buyer can purchase directly from the owner of record. What does this mean? The realtor is compensated by getting their full commission whenever the bank agreed to pay. The investor is compensated from the buyer getting the release of contract fee. The fee is the difference between what the bank accepted and what the C buyer was under contract to pay while buying from the investor. For example, if the BDC contract was $1.6 million, the bank approved $1.5 million, the amount of the release would be $100,000. The end buyer is still going to get the deal. We're going to tell them there's two ways that we can go. If there's a problem with the bank, and this is why we're going to have the short sale approval, because it usually takes 4 to 6 weeks where they give us the verbal approval for them to fill out the rest of the paperwork, send everything, and say yes. Now we're remarketing it at the discounted price. Hopefully we can get 3 to 5 of those contracts, and maybe there'll be a little bidding war, like we said. Now, if we agree to the fire sale price, we explain to the new buyer that it will never go higher than the fire sale price. Maybe, if we have to do the release of contract, it might go lower than the fire sale price. See if we can get any more. Does this make sense? What does this mean? That means that without losing the deal, if it's at 1.6, my contract with the new buyer, and I got the short sale approval for 1.5, and they gave me for whatever, and my contract is still the 1.6 for them, they'll still pay 1.6. But now, at the closing table on the HUD, you'll pay 1.5 million to the bank. I'll step out and release my contract so you can step into my place. This is the legality. This you have to understand. These are lawyers that are doing this stuff. These are bankers, and they're making sure that they are bulletproof, and so do we. So now I'm stepping out, and he's still buying it for 1.6, and it's still on the HUD, and now he's paying me my fee that's coming through the title company for the $100,000. So he still pays it. These are usually who's paying it. These are cash buyers. From what my experience is with the team that I've closed with, and they've closed that 64 million at Kaiser, they're only looking for cash buyers. These are the people that come out and play. So they understand that they're savvy that if I'm going to save 10, 20%, 15%, I'm going to pay this one price. It doesn't matter how I pay the price. It matters that I pay the price because I'm still going to pay the full money anyway. Now, what if I said to them, instead of the 1.6, we pay you $100,000, I'll save you another $10,000. You just pay me $90,000. Does that make sense?
Are you disclosing this on the HUD?
All day. And we have to do the release and termination of contract every time we send in the subsequent higher offer. The bank must know this at all times. This is nationwide. And we have to make sure that we are in compliance nationwide. This is why you need to understand what we're doing as investors. And if you understand as a listing agent, then you have the advantage to be able to go do more deals because we are strictly in compliance and doing everything right above board so we can do it over and over and over again. Now, when we, go ahead, I'm sorry.
This is not an assignment fee.
No, assignment fee is different. They're assigning me. What I'm doing is, did I perform on the contract? Did we go out there and did we work on the short sale? Did we perform the equity that we created? Was that through our work? If it was, then I'm going to get paid for it. And you want to get paid for it too, don't you? Instead of just having the deal go dead. Because instead of waiting for someone to jump in and make the offer and then the deal is 3, 6, 9 months later, you're in there and we're negotiating right away. So these deals aren't taking as long as they normally would because you have the buyer in place, if this makes sense. And all I'm doing is the release and termination of contract is I put the contract in, they understand what we created, we're going to keep from what the short sale approval was to what I sell it for.
How's
Simple.
that disclosed on the HUD?
How is that just as a buyer side cost? The buyer's going to pay that, and he's going to pay my fee, and he's going to pay the fee for me terminating my contract. It's like an assignment, but it's like an option, but it's for performing and then me releasing my performance and them stepping into my place.
So then the short sale contract needs to be assignable.
It's not assignable. It's what we're going to do is what at the same time when you say that, that's where we comply with subsequent higher offers. Because then the subsequent higher offer comes in, and then we put the offer in from the next buyer, and we're going to make the offer higher to the bank by at least $1,000. And then because it's higher, it's a subsequent offer, and it's the better offer, then it's disclosed, and along with that new contract, we put our addendum in the background that says the release and termination of contract fee that they agreed to pay. Always.
And what is the percent?
Whatever the difference is. It's always the
That's only
same.
the difference.
Whatever the number is, whatever that cash buyer is kind of willing to pay.
That's only as a backup offer.
Yes, and these are what they're saying, hey, we have a higher backup offer. We have a higher, better subsequent offer. We want to make sure that we comply and we do everything by the book, and we let the bank know 100%. Now remember, if you look at foreclosure offense lawyer, a lot of you may not understand securitization and loans and things like that, but they were paid already many times. Some of them have the bailout money, so what we're talking about is getting dead deals off their books and making them more money. We're not really talking about like the bank struggling. We're not talking about any of these guys having a hard time. We're talking about the bank and negotiating with the bank, getting it as low as we can from the bank so we can turn around, we can sell it as high as we can with a quick sale price so we can get paid multiple times. That's it. By the book. Cookie cutter. Simple, simple, simple. This is why I want to show you behind the scenes, because if I just walk into your office and I tell you this stuff, oh yeah, it sounds great. Jeff Watson, Distressed Property Coalition, DPC, we put this together. So if you look at Jeffrey Watson Law, you'll be able to see a little bit more about it. You can call his office, you can find out, but it's the Distressed Property Coalition that helped Capitol Hill put those laws together in 2011 as well, the DPC. Jeff
The
Watson.
idea is doing double closing, right? You don't close if you don't have anybody.
No, of course not. We don't want to close. Why would, listen, how many deals could I close? Do you think I could infinitely close all those deals? No. I'm a real estate investor, and what I do is I do transactions. Just like you, I'm like you. I'm a person that wants to do transactions. I'm not a person that wants to hold it and resell it and be unrealistic. I can't hold hundreds of millions of dollars worth of real estate. That's not going to happen. What I am going to do is I'm going to get private money, transactional money, 1-day money, 2-day money. I'm going to go find that money to help close our deals all the time, every time. I'm going to negotiate with the banks, talk to the buyers. I'm going to help you on your listing presentations if you need me. If you call me at 2 a.m., I will most likely pick up that phone. And if not, I'll probably call you back at 2:02.
So that contract that you agree is to have the short sale approved, no actually to close.
No, it's to close. I can create B and B to C. There is A to B and B to C. This is if there is a problem. Remember on A to B, B to C, you get paid twice? I close.
It can be a problem because in this market where the prices are going up right now,
And see, what you're missing is the BPO. I'm an investor and I've been doing this since 2001. It has to all do with the broker's price opinion. Just like if you got an appraisal, and I'm going to get to right, you don't have to hold your hand up. I don't want you to get the hand. But here's where it is. Can you get a mortgage or can you sell the house for more than what it appraises for? Of course you can. But now when you get an appraisal, now it's you guys. Let's say you're going to buy a house and you know the appraiser and you say, hey, appraise this house for me. The appraiser says, and you trust him. This house is dead set at this. That's your opinion. That's his opinion. So this is what we're doing. We're just getting these appraisals down to the lowest possible opinion. These people do not care. They're not making money off of it. When you do an interior, exterior BPO, you just want to get in and out of there. So you know what you do? You hand him the full package. You already do his work for him.
a lot of them doesn't want to give it to them.
Yeah, because they don't care. But now all of a sudden you spend 5 minutes with the guy who's out there running day to day, trying to make his family survive and stuff like that, and you speak to him as a real individual and you influence the BPO. This is where my money and your money is at.
The BPO.
Is the BPO.
Most of the time they send their appraisal.
That's right, and they can't go in, and what it says on the MLS, it's going to say, no, that's not true. They have to do an interior and exterior BPO if we request it. They have to. It's the law, and they can't just, it's nice to do an exterior, but no, you have to do an interior and exterior, so now the guy walks inside, and we do his work for him. And we show him the lowest comps, we show him the hardship letter, we show him what's wrong, we tell him, we explain to him, person to person, this is how business is done. And then he puts in his opinion. He doesn't put in a fact. This is why it's called a BPO. He puts in his opinion, and that opinion is going to be either he drove by and he didn't care, or you told him what it was, you showed him our contract, you showed him what we were doing and how we were doing it, and lo and behold, a lot of the times, the BPO comes in exactly what we wanted. Because you explained to him and you talk to him person to person. You may see that person again and again and again and again.
So I suppose you have inspectors on this team as well.
It's not that we have inspectors, I just need the right listing units. And we do have inspectors, I have people who can bring on everything, but I just need you guys to understand it. If you don't understand it, then my deals are dead. Because when I call a listing agent, normally, they're so undereducated. They don't go to these classes like the other agents. They're just feeling real estate agents. They're not doing continuing education. I need to have you guys so educated, you know what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, why I'm doing it, what I'm offering, when I'm offering it. It's like a salsa step. Oh, I know that move. Oh, I know that move. You know that move? You're going to know all my moves. So we can work together as a team, because this is what a team does. I'm not sure if any of you watch basketball. I'm kind of short, so I really don't play basketball because I like to play above the rim, because I'm a guy that can dunk. But since I don't dunk, what I did notice is this. That the Heat, when they first got together that first year with LeBron, with James and Bosh and these guys, they didn't work, no matter how powerful they were, because there was no synergy between them. They didn't know the moves. The minute that they knew each other's moves, they were a powerful team. And this is what I want to do. I want to be transparent to you so you know my moves. And that's it. Pass me the ball, I'll pass you the ball. If you need help, I'm going to help. What are we trying to do? We're trying to buy and sell as much real estate as we possibly can. I didn't answer your question. 1 second.
The bank has to be made aware of the terms of the release agreement.
Yeah, it's on the contract. It's in the addendum.
So the original addendum is submitted to them. You don't have any problems with them rejecting that?
They've been closing accounts for 7 years. They had like 15 of their lawyers looking at 50 of those things, and then they settled on the luxury real estate and the other realtor that was supposed to have been here that I was working with, but I'm not working with anymore because really they don't want to take it out of the Kai's realty. They want to keep it sort of in-house. And it doesn't make any sense for me to do that when there's so many other realtors out there, there's so many other brokers, there's so many other opportunities for us to make so much money. I mean, if the real estate worked, if you would have gave me a zip code, I would have showed you 300 to 600 foreclosures in one zip code, in every zip code. I can show you where to pick it up, how to pick it up. Now you're in there, and I want you to become the listing machine. I don't think that makes any sense. We want to list these properties. We want to be the first ones to them. We want to have the solution to their problem. You are the answer for the people that are in distress, because now you are short sale investor educated, and then, like I said, the back end of the money. And if it was the release fee was like, let's say 100,000, and the guy's like, maybe we go down to 75,000, take him 25,000. Money always talks, especially cash.
Because you're in first position, I'm trying to.
In first position, that means I become the seller. That basically that you and I work together, we understand what we're doing, passing you the ball. So what am I doing? I have equitable interest, and now you're putting it up there, and this is why you're getting paid on both ends either way.
Well, that's what I'm trying to understand the release agreement. So, in other words, you're in contract with the seller.
Correct.
And you go and we negotiate with the bank.
Correct.
The bank says we want.
Verbal short sale approval.
1.5 million.
Yeah.
You're gonna sell it to C buyer at 1.6, and then you're telling the C buyer, I will give you my interest.
Yes, I'm going to sell you. You're going to step in my contract.
Okay.
The approval is going to get put in your name. I'm going to step, and you step out ideally right before they issue the approval, because we don't want to burn my name ever, because you'll be able to use me 1,000 times.
So in most cases, we won't be able to substitute the buyer. We would have to do a soft.
Yeah, you're doing a backup offer. They're just changing the
A soft decline,
Yes.
okay.
It's not hard.
It takes about 3-4 weeks to do that, okay. I'm just trying to understand.
It may take a little bit longer for us to get but the deal doesn't die. There's no way we took it to the table and the deal's dead, and now we're not making any money. No, we want to do it, so now I can step out and they can still do it.
So that's your leverage. I'll step out for XYZ dollars.
Excellent.
And I give you, okay, I got it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because here's what we've done, here's how we've done it, and then there are people that need to get paid, and then there's going to be some of you that become my investment partners on the side by referring people in, and then out of that lease fee, you're going to be getting paid, so that's why I need to get paid, because I'm going to make these promises, and it's going to kill me if I can't keep my promises. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So Realtors Commission, according to what it is fully protected in subsequent contract to see the investor is compensated for the buyer by getting reduced the contract fee. The fee is the difference between what the bank accepted, what the C buyer is under contract to pay while buying it from the investor. Exactly what I said. I just wanted to talk about it. The possibility of the transaction going to ADC is fully exposed to the bank as well as to the buyer once the offer comes in. So I tell the buyer to go either way, because if we try and spring this on the buyer at the end, hey, there was a resale or there was a problem, or they're like, what? Huh? No way. But when you say, hey, listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get you this house at a discount. It's going to be great. And there's two ways that we're going to do it because the investor's working on everything. He's almost tied everything up. So you can get this awesome deal. And there's one of the ways you're going to do it. Here's the fee that this is the price you're going to pay. And there's one of two ways that we're going to do it. Now that you know what we're doing and how we're doing it, it makes it simple.
What would the investor fee to that?
Why would
the investor want that money for that?
Well, because they didn't negotiate, they didn't do it. These are usually like end buyers, or the investor's already coming into something where he doesn't have to do much and there's equity already involved. You gotta understand, when I say investor, I'm a wholesale investor. So I'm buying low and selling low, and there may be a long-term investor where there's 10, 20% equity in it for them already, and they're looking to like maybe offshore money or this money or that money. This is big money, and Florida is a big haven for money. This is why they would want to do it, because everything's already done for them. How many times have you had a buyer willing to wait 3, 6, 9, 12 months and may not walk or find another deal that's ready? So here's the best thing while we're doing this is that no one if someone's still living in the house, you don't have 50 people running through the house. That the minute we get the short sale approval is then we're putting on that price, and then we're looking on and you're putting cash buyer offers only, and at that price, those cash buyers who are looking in that area are going to be able to move forward on that deal because it's going to be such a great deal. I mean, the market's getting hot, right? People with money are coming here. The Chinese are coming, the Russians are coming, and if you need some help, I have the cash buyer list for everybody who bought in cash from the Miami-Dade and Broward courthouses. I can pull that list and I can show you where you can send your letters to cash buyers in the area who've previously bought in cash that may be interested in buying another property. So there's different things that we can do that you can now start looking for people who are already interested. Does that make sense? You can start lining up people and talking to other people. And like I said, there's so many deals that are going out there. All you have to do is look at it as from the investor side how we're going to do it. So besides marketing on the MLS, besides making a $25,000 to $50,000 commercial that we can put on Google and syndicate everywhere and people can see it, there's the normal conventional methods that we can do. But beyond that, all it really comes down to is negotiating, and knowing where our numbers are, knowing where you're going to meet the BPO agent at, give him the package, let you do all the work for him, then we move to the next level. That really is basically how the game is structured. Everything lives or dies by the BPO.
Now, is the additional compensation to the realtor also disclosed on the article?
Yes, all the time.
And it's approved by the lender?
Well, that's my money. It's my money. I can pay my associates or my investors because you're not the realtor on it. If you're the investor on it with me, you're not the realtor or broker on this deal because you.
So I have a separate corporation then as an investor.
No. You're either the realtor with it on me, or if you're not the realtor in my other program as the investor, you've just recommended, and we put another room like this, or maybe I came to your office, and then I talked to like maybe 30 agents, and they said yes, and they want to do something, and an agent came in and did a deal where you're not the agent on it. You know, like you could call somebody from Remax or Century 21. I can do something for that whole office. If any of those real estate agents from that meeting do something, then out of my investor money, you're going to get paid as an investor. Does that make sense? No. Here, click this. Okay. Don't worry about it. I should show you. The release fee is part of the whole transaction to be submitted with the subsequent higher offer. It's placed in the HUD 1 as a buyer's side closing cost. The fee must be both disclosed and approved by the bank, which is why it's submitted with the new higher offer. Everything must be disclosed. Everything must be approved. Approved, disclosed, approved. Next slide. And with the lead generation strategies, one of the things besides Realist Classic is I wanted to show you who knows what pre-NODs are. One person? Come on. Who knows what pre-NODs are? 2 people? All right, pre-NODs, pre-notice of defaults. What does that mean? That means that we can go get help. Where do you go get the information so you can get a listing? Who's in trouble real quick? Do you wait for the Realist Classic, which is the list pendants, and every other agent in here is going to know the same thing that you know? Not that there's a problem, because you guys will probably be first while the other agents aren't doing anything, because they're probably not even using IMAP or the Realist Classic. However, with pre-NODs, that's your pre-notice of default. That means you can look online and you can buy pre-notice of defaults. What does that mean? That means an NOD is a 30, a 60, a 90-day late that you can buy from a data mining company that will get the information from Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And why would you want to do that? Because now you have a hint. Now, you may not know on the 30, 60, 90 days late when you get some of the information, which it is, but when you start getting the data and you see someone on it more than once or twice, that means they're in either 30, they're probably on a 60, or they may be on a 90-day late. You want to go there. You want to say hello to those people. You want to see if they're interested in selling their properties. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of pre-NODs that you can go knock on the door. And I mean, how many deals do you really need to do? How much money do you really need to make? What is what you are looking for? An extra $50,000, $100,000? How many deals will that take? At what level and where are you looking? So this is, you just have to factor in, you know, why you're here and what kind of money you want to make. Jewel, what kind of money do you want to make?
$1 million.
I can't hear you.
$1 million.
You got to be frank with these people because money is the real deal. That's why everybody showed up. They're spending their time. You got to be. How much are you trying to make? $1 million?
Yeah.
A week, a month, a year?
A year. For now, a year.
A year?
As an agent, $1 million a year. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. Isn't it possible?
Yes.
I'm working on it.
She just started, but she just, okay, here's the best part. She just started. She just got her realtor's license, and then we're out there running this program. He's 25, he's 23, she's 27. She just got her MBA from FIU. Okay, guys, part of the secret is Julie is my girlfriend. So so we're dating, and then besides the dating, that helps us. And then she went out there and she did it. This is why she's my personal agent all the time. So I'm helping her. So when you say how many deals, I'm hoping, I don't know, right now it's 0 because she just started. And this is why I'm out here running this new program. This is why I'm out here trying to figure out how we can work together, and if there's anything I can do to be available to you, to show you how we can do a deal together, how we can do 10, 20, 50 deals together. This is my goal. To be as transparent, to give you as much education and information, to lead you with all the crumbs and the clues so you know who I am, when I am, what I do, how I do it, so there's no confusion.
How do you get the NODs?
Oh, you just, let's go Google it, right? And then you type in pre-NOD list, and then you can buy the list from 45 cents to maybe 29 cents per name. So it might be if you get a list, and 1,000 names or 500 names could cost you between 300 and 150 bucks, but all you need is one of those listings, 2 of those listings, 5 of those listings, 10 of those listings. You're looking at the location, the hot spot. You're sitting there and you're just happen to be before every other agent.
Yes, using MLS, you can find these pendants, the top section, there is
Yeah,
realist class.
Yeah, I've done it with the
So you
IMA.
just put a pre-foreclosure, the condition of the property, pre-foreclosure, and the sale price, maybe $750,000. And you can do by zip code, by the county, I mean, it's free, and you can check right away how much.
I mean, there's hundreds, thousands of agents out there. What makes you special? What's your USP, your unique selling proposition? Is the fact that you have your listing agreement with you, you have a contract, and if they need the proof of funds. And where am I getting the money? Transactional funding, private money, hard money, any money. I'll find that money so you can close those deals. You understand? If I have to do A, B, B to C, that's what I do. I'm the investor. I'm your partner on it to make sure we happen. And then you're on the other side making sure you list and you show and you sell those properties. Money.
Romeo?
Yes.
What's your contact number?
Oh, yes. Do we have a contact number for me, Rick? I was trying to, what is that number?
The same, the 570.
570.
Here, I'll give it to you guys.
To get the cash and go. Is that something that also interests you, or it has to be a short sale situation so that you have the gap of time?
So we have a gap and we can make the money all day, every day. So you gotta understand, I want properties that people don't want. I want properties that we can move quickly, that we can negotiate quickly, that we can get in and we can get out of. I want to do deal after deal after deal with you. If I'm working with someone that has equity, usually, you know, it might be harder or something to do, but in a short sale game, this is what we play, how we play it. This is what I've done. I love this part. And then what it does is it puts it, sets it in such a way so there's no liability for us. And we're not like, oh, it doesn't work, or then someone's waiting to do something, or there's so many different things where they're not really prepared to sell it. And if you have equity in it, most people are equating equity with cash. And because they equate equity with cash, and it's very hard for them to let it go. I'm not saying that I can't talk to them and do all the rest of it.
The question is, if there is a property and there's at least a $100,000 spread,
See, it's not really the $100,000. I would use $100,000 just so it was like believable. But sometimes the spreads could be $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 on top of that. And in the short sales, it's and like I said, I don't really financially know that. I don't really like dealing with properties like that because then I can't really create the spread. I can't bring the lawyers, and I mean, there's so many people that get paid off of these types of properties that I'm talking about, and no one's looking at them because, as you saw, how many realtors were there, and only one of them really liked short sales. So this is what gives you the advantage on finding those deals that are out there. And it's not like the minimum of $100,000. I used to make $100,000 on properties back in the day that were under $300,000. So that's why I'm looking for $2, $3, $4, $5 million properties, so we can really make a difference. We can make a change. Because in the back end, the money for me is between $500,000 and $1 million, $200,000. Your 10% could be $20,000 to $100,000 every deal. If there's a 50 to 100 agents that are in the program that we're closing with her, that you brought in, maybe it's your office. Now, if it's your office and you're the broker, I mean, of course you're going to benefit, but if you're an agent and you get me to speak at your office, everyone has to co-list with you. Every agent has to talk to you because they didn't come here and I'm not dealing with them. Because they didn't take the time to educate themselves, everyone has to deal with you and you're the one that calls me. Does this make sense? If you brought me to an office and there was 100 agents and there's a chance and you're saying, well, how do I know? Well, you're going to know because you're going to co-list it with them if they bring the deal in. And the second thing is that, these are the rules. I can't talk to 1,000 agents, but I can talk to 100 or 200 agents through my agent. I can't talk to 10,000. And if I'm really going to build a real estate investment club, I need to make sure that you guys are vested fully in it with me, and you're going to make money with me every single time, so you know that, hey, when I deal with Romeo, we're going to get paid. I have multiple ways to get paid with him. And every time there's a short sale, I want you to think of me. At night, if someone calls you and it's a short sale, I want you to think of me. If there's anything that I want you to think of me and you,
Dream you.
together.
Okay, so when it's 2 o'clock in the morning,
I'll
and I'm
be
thinking
there.
of you, right?
Yeah, listen.
And I want to sleep well, so take me back here. I still want to know, how is it legal for me to make a $200,000 commission on a short sale? And it be disclosed to the lender. If you help me sleep well, then we can talk.
Are you saying a commission, or you're talking about on my money?
On your, let's suppose, I know I get my 6%
So,
from the lender.
on my fee, like when I
You're
sell
talking
it,
about a 10%
of my money.
of your money.
Yeah.
How do I get that and it still be legal?
Oh, well.
Because I need to sleep well when I'm thinking of you at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I'm gonna sign a contract with you that says you're gonna get 10% of the money. And then at the closing table, when I get paid, I have them cut the check for you right there. So even look, it's my money that's gonna get disclosed. Now, I'm saying at the title company is where you're gonna get paid.
I get that, but then that's an agreement outside of the short sale that I'm agreeing to. So I just don't want to wear stripes. Unless if I agree
You
to
don't
my
like stripes. You gotta understand, as long as you're not the realtor or the agent on the deal with me, as long as you're not that person, you've referred another brokerage, and that brokerage, I'm doing business with them. Because I'm doing business with them, I never would have done business without them without you. Does this
So I
make
can't
sense?
be the listing agent
No,
on the deal that you're.
you are not. This is a separate way to get paid.
And it's not a referral.
You're not gonna be listening.
You can call it a referral, but you can call it
Okay,
anything
so
you
if I'm
want.
the listing
It's my
agent-
profit. Out of my profit, I'm gonna share it with you.
Yes, you can.
Ah,
And also you wanna get
agent,
agent
not
on
the
the agent that you
agent.
refer.
No.
I won't be doing that with him with my listing.
I don't
I'll
want
be
to,
doing it with him
because
with another.
here's what happens. Here's what happens.
That's what I'm.
In your mind, you're starting to think agent. This is not what I want you to think. I want you to start thinking investor, so I can close more deals with Wendy, and we can do more title, we can do more foreclosure defense, we can do all those things. What I'm thinking about is that it's going to be a nationwide group, and I'm going to be building, so it's not referrals, it's investors. So you're going to be able to bring in other people. You got to understand there are other people. I am the investor. He's an investor. There are guys who are agents that want to learn how to become investors. I was going to show you a video where you see these agents that do become investors.
I just wanted to say something that, my title company, my partner's a real estate attorney, and we are not going to let you do anything that is illegal. If there's anything that we question or we are uncomfortable with, we will not let you do it, okay? So if, my attorney partner is very conservative, and if there's anything he's not comfortable with, it's not going to happen.
So that was the answer to my question. I'm not the listing agent on the deal. I'm looking for other deals outside of mine.
But I just want you to know that we are not going to let you do anything that is not legal.
Okay, because that was my
We don't want to get in trouble either, okay? I don't want to lose my title license, Justin doesn't want to lose his real estate license, and we don't want to go to jail either.
Right.
So we are not going to let you do anything that is not legal.
Okay, thank you, Wendy.
Do you have a functioning direct mail piece that you recommend that has worked?
Actually,
I
I do have some functioning direct mail pieces, but you want to know the best functioning direct mail piece that I've ever seen is I have a cash buyer for your house. Letter one, I have a cash buyer for your house. It's very interesting. If you can give me a call, I would love to see the property. Letter number two, excuse me, sorry for interrupting you again, but I have a cash buyer and he's really serious about buying your house. Can you give me a call back, please? Letter number three. And these are, you're sending the letter one out, you're sending 2 letters out a week if you want to do it, so that's between Monday and Friday or Monday and Thursday, so they receive it by the weekend, and you do your second letter. Your third letter will say, I know I've sent you 2 other letters. This guy will not stop bothering me. Can you please give me a call if you're interested in buying and selling your home, because I have the cash buyer. Letter number 4. Once again,
When are you going to call me?
I find myself in a bad position being hassled by the investor that's interested in buying your property. If you have any interest at all in selling, please call me. Letter number 4. Letter number 5. You already know what this says. So, I don't need to say any more, but please, if you're interested in selling, call me, because we have one message and one message only that we want to say. We want to say consistent that
The
we
investor
want
is
to.
stalking me. This may be my last message to you.
And then here's what happens. You walk up to the door, right? Now, I normally have it listed, but here's what I say. You send out your letters like every other realtor, and you send out those big letters with unfeeling, but if you get the right stamps, you put the stamp on a little angle, you get little postcards. Like, maybe grandma would have sent you that pink, yellow, orange postcard, not a yellow letter. And then in that letter, you want to fold it, and then on it, and you can go to, and Rick does business cards, logos, this, that. You could ask them a little bit of sprints, but labels. You put one of those old granny labels on it. Like when you used to get the postcard and they had a little sticker on the side, a little that, and then it's handwritten. Those letters get opened almost all the time because you think it's like a birthday card. And that card, when you have multicolors, when you walk up with your, and you say, hey, hi, I'm the realtor that sent you these cards. Now, in my hand are small little cards, and then they're going to see and know immediately that that was you, because either A, most people aren't sending them direct mail just yet, or B, what you've sent them and what it says makes it easy for you to approach their house and talk to them as the listing agent, and you're doing things that no one else has done. And you're not saying that they're in foreclosure and I don't want to buy your house, anything like that. You're just saying, hey, I got a cash buyer. He's interested in buying your house. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that you get that listing. Get that listing.
Is there a service that does this for you, or do you have to do all these by hand?
Is there a service that does this for you? That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I haven't got that far yet. Do you know of a service that sends out cards like that?
That'd be a great service,
I mean,
Somebody should start a business.
I don't know, maybe we could collectively think about, and you want to know what I see here, and what most people are missing, is what I see is separate individuals that think they're not on the same team. But what I see is a mastermind, and this is how we become. Okay, my real estate investment club is called the Best Real Estate Investment Club, but it really stands for the Billionaires Real Estate Investment Club. I know I'm a little pretentious yet, and we don't have the billions just yet, but I have to dream. And if I'm going to dream, I'm going to dream big. Okay, so the only way, if you've ever seen how to make true money, and I was stood next to Donald Trump, okay, and here's what I do math really well. This guy has 15,000 people that work a 8-hour day.
That means at the end of 8 hours, he is paid on 120,000 man and woman hours. Does this make sense? 15,000 people times 8, 120,000 hours. Now I know you as real estate agents, especially when you're out there hustling and it's your morning, it's your weekends, it's your night, you might put in your minimum of 40 hours a week, if not 80 hours a week, like it's a double full-time job. Am I right? Especially for some of you brokers out there. So that means that if you were to do 40 hours times 50 weeks all year, the most you can produce is 2,000 man hours. If you double those hours, like me, at least, and I work on weekends, call me, I dare you. Night 2 at 2 a.m., Curly. Okay?
I'll send it to you.
If that's of your life in one day. So for me to become a billionaire, for me and my group to become 100 millionaires, for us to be successful, I know I have to do one thing, is duplicate what the billionaires do. So I need an organization of 15,000 people that want the same thing that I want, for us to become successful, for us to profit share, for us to make money. This is why I want you to think, Curly, like as an investor. I'm sorry, I'm just going to call you Curly.
That's okay,
I just want to make sure.
You got
Did that
it?
make any
570?
sense? Did that make any sense?
I got 570, 4346.
Yeah, 570, 4346. Yeah, and then they'll log it, so we'll know when.
That if you introduce me to 100 people, maybe we have the opportunity of 10% of them to pay you 10 times, 20. Start with us building our, and what I see, hopefully, and guys, I used to charge like $100,000 for stuff like this, and then I found out that I shouldn't do stuff like that because the only people that I ever work with are people who don't need the money. So the kind of people that I'm working with now, I have 3 different causes. My first cause is the nonprofit Graduate with No Debt. The next cause is called Wildfire Woman. And Wildfire stands for the Village Independent Initiative to drive for females investing in real estate. It's for single moms and young women like this that could never afford the training. And I'm going to be sharing it with them like I am in anthologies. And the last one is Jobs for War Veterans. So I want to help people who don't have jobs and couldn't make the money and would never be able to be financially successful without us. So I encourage you to not only listen to what I'm saying and how we're going to make money, but think about the community and all the lives and the people that we can help and we can change. So in this mastermind, what I'm proposing is there may be a way that we can get together once a month, once every other month, something that we put together. It's like a secret group, and we keep adding to our group, and we keep giving you the knowledge and the training and the education. Because there, I can share more things with you. If you're not limited, if we spend some more time together, I can do.
We get a one-on-one with you?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, great. And if there's anything you want that you've heard here that you'd like or you want to focus more on, send me an email so I know what you're looking for and what we can do for you and how I can help you. I bring you presentations so you can see new ideas and new things that are out there that different groups and different people are bringing. And I just like to share with you what I see so you can see and know what other opportunities there could be.
Last thing, the most important thing I could ever do is I need to control the title company. Most of the time, the buyer or whatever wants to control the title company, or that's how they feel, then they're not going to buy our house, okay? Because that will blow the deal if they don't understand what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Wendy and Justin understand implicitly how to get your commission check. If you don't understand that, if you say yes to the buyer and bring some other title company in and them messing everything up, you just blew up your check. This is why I have a title addendum agreement that says that we have to use her. Why am I using her? Because I did the preliminary hush with her. Why am I using her? Because she put you guys together. Why am I using her? Because she's putting all the work together for us. Why am I using her? Because they checked everything, they bulletproof everything, so you're going to be okay. Why am I using her? Because you're using her now too. And that's what one of the documents when you work with me understands. And I'm very loyal. I'm not trying to change. When you do business with me, your money is your money. My money is my money. And I want to make sure you always get paid all the time, every single time. That's how I build my reputation. But as I'm growing, I want everybody to know that my title company that I'm always closing with, that you will be closing with every single deal, or otherwise as the equitable interest seller, I will not sell that property with you. Are we clear? I will never lose a deal because the title company didn't understand what they were doing and they didn't feel right and it was this and it was that. We have a lawyer. We have the right lady that's been in business for 25 years. We want to make sure, and the only reason why I want to stress this, stress this, is because if I ever meet with you one-on-one, if I ever see you anywhere outside, if we're ever not, well, Wendy or my team is not here, this is my team, I stick with my team. I stay with who I stay with. If that makes any sense, and it's so important to understand that because we will lose deals. And I would rather walk away from the deal than to deal with somebody that doesn't understand how important my team is and how important you are to me in our relationship. And sometimes in the deal, I may never make money.